everybody. I'm JABYBHAI, joined by the lovely and the non-stop chatterbox Achara
It's me.
who's cleared this table because we're professionals.
Profesh right here, just doing my job.
With MAANVI GAGROO.
Yeah.
Is there a rolling R in there? Is that on purpose? Are we supposed to roll the R or is it GAGROO?
It's GAGROO.
You rolled it. GAGROO.
GAGROO. Oh, did I roll
like
it?
a Scottish man. GAGROO.
It's actually
GAGROO.
So, technically it's GAGROO, but my sister and I have always been saying GAGROO because we just feel like that sounds better.
GAGROO.
Okay. For those of you that don't know, MAANVI, Achara, and myself go way back to the earlier days of TVF.
Yeah.
Not the beginning of TVF, but the earlier days.
Like the beginning of their web series, like the long format.
Yes. TK. So.
TK.
Ha.
I texted you something saying ha and something, and then I realized that he might not know what that means, and I'm like, no, he'll know what ha means.
Yes.
Like, come on, whatever.
Yeah, I figured it out. So this is called Catching Up with MAANVI. This is the first of only videos catching up with.
Yes, and before we go any further, just want to thank the lovely Novotel Mumbai International Airport for allowing us to use this beautiful space that you see.
Yes, correct.
So that we can hold interviews with wonderful friends and new people that we
As long as they're famous.
Yes.
No, yes, they're very kind enough to lend us the space, and very, very happy to conduct these conversations, professional conversations.
Speaking of being famous, we just got stripped off our blue ticks today from Twitter. You know
Wait,
that, right?
You did?
Everyone.
Oh, no.
Everyone.
Not me.
Like,
I never
pay
had
a
a
lot of
blue
money.
tick.
Oh, you
No, I don't.
I never had a blue tick anywhere, so I'm like, haha.
You're actually, looking
Achara
at
shows her driver's license, her social security number. She shows proof.
I did. I showed proof multiple times and no one will verify me. So I'm like, whatever, screw you guys.
Yeah. Now you're just like,
So you got married.
Yeah, congrats.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
Wait,
February.
who'd you marry?
Kumar Varun.
Kumar Varun.
Yes.
So there you go.
What sort of
So
torture?
all the guys can leave now.
No, I wanted to ask you, what sort of torture are you like committing yourself to by marrying a comedian?
No, but I'm actually, I personally, I don't know if I should say this on record, but I think I'm funnier than him. Like I keep telling him, he's funnier on stage.
Okay.
Because he can be funny when asked to be funny.
I buy this.
I can't be funny when asked to be. I can't be funny under pressure. Like if I know I have to be, I can't be funny. But I think in my regular day-to-day life, I'm funnier.
I buy this 100%, and I'll tell you why.
Why?
Because we've done reaction videos with comedians, stand-up comics. We brought them on the channel because I'm like, oh, stand-up comics, they're funny. Yeah, it's perfect. They'll make very entertaining videos.
Yeah, it's right there. You feel like,
And then they are so serious. And I'm like, what WTF? Like, why are you so serious? Aren't you funny? Be funny.
That's why we call you here. You idiot.
So I believe you 100%. Because they're very smart. And so at home, they're just very like...
Also, I think what happens with funny people in general, I'm guessing, is that they feel that they're not taken seriously outside of their job. Like, everybody assumes that they are like...
I forgot that I had an additional job to do and I just remembered.
Yeah. So they're not taken seriously.
Yeah, I think this is my just analysis that I think they feel that they're not taken seriously. So every opportunity they get of like being taken seriously, they try to be serious and try to sound smart.
I told Achara, I thought we should do this interview before we eat our hamburgers. So this whole time, like we interviewed Manoj Bajpayee earlier, and it was like easy to suck in my stomach and like hide the gut.
Yeah.
But now I'm pushing in a chicken burger and it's not going in. I'm having a hard time here, so I keep pulling on my shirt, like so insecure.
It's too late, Javi.
Yeah,
too late.
Body conscious.
Okay, so what have you been up to? Tell us.
Besides getting married.
Besides getting married, that's a small thing.
That really is. Choti. So I did finish this one film, which was right after we got married. I went for that, and all my friends were like, wait, you guys aren't doing, like, you're not going for your honeymoon? And I'm like, no, like, that's so passé, and like our life is a honeymoon and all that nonsense. I did this one film, which is what I was telling you about. We went to Mussoorie, we shot there, we were there for a month. I can't talk about it yet because they haven't announced it. But then there's another film that I did called Heed Sara, which is going to come out sometime soon, I hope.
Okay.
Which is the one I shot with Patralekha.
So far you've told us titles. What are these about?
Okay, so this Heed Sara is actually very sweet. I think it's a very cute film. It's the story about these two girls who are traveling from Indore, and they're traveling from there to Pondicherry.
Oh.
Puducherry. They're strangers. They don't know each other. They're separate they have separate reasons for going there. Like my character is going because her ex-boyfriend is getting married and she feels like he's getting married because his parents are forcing him to, so she wants to kind of like bail him out. I'm like this chatterbox, bubbly girl, and
totally deviation from who you are.
Not like you at all.
I don't know what that's like.
What a
at
stretch.
all. I don't know why they cast me in that. The other one I can't talk about at all.
Oh,
Okay.
so deep.
Top
Because they
secret.
haven't even announced it yet.
This is the second time today that we're going through this. Gosh darn it.
Embargoes.
Yeah.
When are you allowed to talk about it?
The other one?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know. Once they announce the film.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it Netflix?
No, it's gonna. I don't know. I don't know whether it's gonna be.
I've said too much.
I don't know.
I am not even supposed to tell you there's a movie.
What movie?
It could be a web series.
So are you big into cooking?
Into cooking?
Yeah,
Not at all. I mean, lockdown, there was a little bit of cooking happening. I only know how to cook, like make eggs, like different types of eggs, right? Like omelette, scrambled, boiled.
Same.
Why did you ask about cooking though?
Because she keeps inviting us over to cook food.
Oh, that's right. You keep inviting us over for dinner.
Yeah, but I have someone else make it. I'm not gonna cook.
Kumar?
No, we have a cook. he's actually better at cooking.
So how did he hit on you? How did that all start?
So he does this show called Quizzing with the Comedians, which is something he started during the lockdown, during the pandemic. And I was hooked. I was hooked on that show because it was just a great distraction, right, from everything else that was happening. Because like you couldn't watch anything. There was only how many films and series can you watch, like beyond a point. News was just depressing. I used to watch that. It was great fun. I knew most of the people. They were friends. And then Amit Golani, you know Amit Golani, right? So he was actually from TVF. So he actually introduced me to the show, and we used to watch it together, and we'd try and answer the questions and stuff. So he told me that I should go and participate because he was like, listen, you're good. And I was like, listen, I'm good while sitting on a couch in my own house, and pausing at leisure and taking as much time as I want in coming up with an answer. I said, I don't think I'll be good there.
Yeah.
But he went behind my back and called up KV, Varun, and told him to invite me. And he said, she's really interested or whatever. He reached out to me. And honestly, I was interested, but I was like, dude, no, I mean, I'll make a fool of myself. It'll be horrible. But it gave me something to kind of look forward to. So like I started prepping for it, like I would read things, it was like homework I was doing.
How do you prep for something like that?
Yeah, because it was a general edition, so it could be anything, right? I mean, I was like, it can come from anywhere. But I was like, okay, let me try and brush up on things that...
Let me just read the dictionary and memorize every word.
No, but the good thing about his quizzes is that it's not like a direct question. It's not like, okay, what's the capital of so-and-so, or who's the president of this country or whatever. They're very workable. So if you know even a little bit, like if you know like a basic timeline of, let's say, World War II, so you'll be able to say, okay, Germany, or, Hitler, you'll probably, there are enough clues in the question. So that was there. And and we started talking because of the quiz. I participated in one tournament. Then another, and then that's how we just and our relationship went through the regular stages, like initially we were just casually dating.
How did he ask you out?
We were hanging out, like there was tremendous chemistry, I think, from the first time we met. And we were chilling one day, and he was leaving actually for Canada for a trip. And he was going for a long time, like he was going for a month. And I think he felt that, okay, like I gotta say, at least tell her that I like her. And he told me, he said, listen, I really like you. And I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
What?
Great response. That's something every dude wants to hear.
No, because
okay.
No, I was like, I mean, I knew that, and I also I wanted to say it back to him, but I was like, it was seeming very like high schoolish, like he's saying I like you, and I'll be like, oh, I like you too, and then it'll go into this awkward space of what do we do next, and are we supposed to hold hands, what is it?
The funniest thing is he's a comedian, so I would imagine that he would have more confidence, but I guess comedians...
You'd think, yeah.
I guess comedians don't. That's why they're comedians.
Is this a MAANVI GAGROO interview or like the roast of her husband?
No, but the thing about it is like he talks to... He's a stand-up, right? So he'll talk to a room full of strangers and tell jokes with the risk of like embarrassment, like if he burns out, right? Yeah. But like, God forbid he tells you he has feelings for you though.
Yeah, like to be vulnerable, about your own feelings, that's hard. I feel that's really hard, yeah.
Does he he now, are you part of the content that he like uses for his stand-up? Because a really good friend of mine used to date a stand-up comedian, and she was like, yeah, I'm like the butt of his jokes for most of the time, and like 50% of it isn't even true.
No, so I keep telling him that since we started dating, actually, he's been concentrating more on the quizzing part of it, not so much on stand-up. But I told him, I said, listen, if you ever crack jokes about your partner or whatever, even if they're not true, even if they're just jokes, people are going to assume it's me, right? Like, obviously. And I'm like, you need to specify that, oh, this is just a joke, or this didn't actually happen, or this happened, or whatever. He's like, but that kills the joke.
Exactly.
And I was like, but then what about you're killing my image? And he's like, no, don't worry. I'm not going to say anything stupid or whatever.
One of your shows, your Amazon Prime show, Four More Shots,
4 More
right?
Shots, please.
Like it feels like it's a lot about this like female empowerment and like liberation, freedom and all of that. Is that something that you also look for when you're going for roles or stuff? Or is it just something that came to you?
No, that one just kind of came to me. But I've realized that not everything will be everything that comes to me. So either I'm okay with saying no to them, but then someone's got to pay the bills as well. For me, the thing is, my character can be whatever because I'm an actor and, I'd love to play all kinds. But the messaging of the project, whether it's a film or a series, at large, like the whole message should be something that like aligns with my ideology.
Sure. So Kabir Singh too.
If I was offered Kabir Singh, I'd do it in a heartbeat, I think. I don't know. I mean, because it's...
Shahid Kapoor.
Yeah, like, no, because
I want him to slap me, Jesus.
Just slap me already. No, like I remember when the film came out, I haven't watched the film, but when it came out, I was like, who can I blame for? Because I can't blame Shahid Kapoor because it's a fabulous part. Like it's a performer's part. You get to showcase like a range of emotions. And it's also like, it's a hit on paper, right? Like the Telugu version has been super hit and it's going to be a hit. Why wouldn't an actor say yes to it? And it's a solo like a solo film for Shahid and all. I was like, Kiara also would, like, same reasons, the makers also, but yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
What?
No, I've been asking all the questions.
No, you ask a question. You're good at this.
Bring out your notes.
Bring out I don't have my... bring out your notes.
No, look,
okay, here's the secret. Here's the secret. Okay. So what happened was we were interviewing JABYBHAI and Achara had like all these notes. Over the course of the 1 hour conversation, all that got thrown out because I just kept firing off questions.
No, here's the truth. I'm a much better listener than I am a question asker. Okay?
But I have to ask you something.
Okay, go ahead.
Are you happy?
Yeah, that's such an inside joke that we cannot explain.
We cannot explain that joke, but yes. No, I'm perfectly happy. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I guess some of the context for the question that I can provide for the audience without giving anything specific away is that I think that in a city like Mumbai, or Los Angeles for that matter, any city that's like hustle and bustle and very crowded, what's ironic about it is it can be jam-packed and in that environment you can feel so lonely.
So lonely,
and isolated from everybody, even though you're surrounded by so many people. And moreover, you're surrounded by people that think like you too. They're artists, for instance, in Mumbai, and yet somehow you find your way into a space by yourself. And it just feels like, kind of heartbreaking in a way, and you don't know what to do. And so what I'd like to do is I like, if I can see someone is in a weird spot, I'll just ask them like, how are you feeling?
Out.
And they feel seen for the first time.
Usually when you're entering a vulnerable situation, you're entering one, right? So your guards are up. But when you just ask them out of the blue, their guards are not up and they suddenly feel like, and then they break down, right? Yeah. Like that's what. But do you think this has changed post the pandemic?
No, this is just, I asked her that before pandemic and it messed her up.
Yeah, you did.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Pandemic certainly made things worse. You made it worse, yeah.
No, I think it's. I would like to believe things have gotten better.
Yeah, some people got married after pandemic in a desperate attempt to not be alone.
To get rid of that loneliness. Actually, no, but I did. I was genuinely like, I remember there was this one time, between the two lockdowns, between the two variants and all of that. And I remember I was carrying like groceries and my place that I was staying alone at. So that was on the 3rd floor without a lift, okay? And I was carrying all of this and I went in and I just looked at my house and I'm like, and I started crying. I'm like, I'm doing everything on my own. And like, I'm picking up things on my own, this and that. And then I was telling Varun this, like when we started dating, He's like, 1 second, are you with me so I can carry your groceries? Like, what is this about?
Yeah.
Well, I was also
why else
thinking
are you-
that's like a super unfeminist thing to say.
No, but that's what I was feeling like. In that moment, I remember I had that feeling that I don't want to be an independent woman. I want someone to carry my groceries and, do my things for me.
Oh, I'm fully in support of independent women. Anytime Achara's gone with me to shopping, I give her all the bags.
I know. No, this is a true story. And like, and then he'll use it against me, I'll be all like, Jabby, why aren't you carrying this? This is heavy. And he's like, I thought you were a strong, independent woman. And I was like, well, shit. Watch me carry all these bags then, Jabby. I'm like, oh, that's what you were trying to trick me into doing all along.
Y'all did this to yourselves. I didn't do anything. I just showed up.
We walked right into this. Yeah.
I just showed up to the party.
Let's get the 50s back.
Earlier tonight, we were eating downstairs in the lobby here at Novotel Mumbai International Airport. We were eating in the lobby, and someone had recognized Jabby Kuwait first. I just want that to be on the record. And then his friend recognized you, and I was like, oh, and then he wanted to snap a pic with you. How often do you get recognized, and how do you avoid it?
A lot of the times, it's more about.
I know you from somewhere.
Yeah, where have I seen? Like even today, when I was at the reception and I was telling them that I need an access key, and I looked at her and I said, "Hi, can I get an access key to the 6th floor?" And she looked at me. She's like, "Aren't you from FOMO Shows, please?" And I'm like, "Arey, but first give me the key or respond to that, and then I'll respond to your question." But yeah, it happens quite often. More outside Bombay, like outside Bombay, it's crazy.
That's interesting, actually, because I remember, like, while we were traveling through India, like, someone had asked me, like, are you getting recognized? And I'm like, yeah. And they go, I bet when you go to Mumbai, you're going to get recognized so much more. I'm like, okay. It happens so much less here.
Yeah, exactly.
So much less.
Because here people are like very used to seeing a lot of like people on the streets or whatever, or even if they do see you and they're it's more like a hey, like it's a sense of acknowledgement rather than like them going, can I get a selfie with you and stuff. Like recently I was at the Dehradun airport and this was really humbling and interesting at the same time. So there was a group of boys and girls, and they recognized me, and they came up to me and they were like, can we take a picture? And it ended up being like a 5-10 minute deal because they were doing solo pictures, and I was like, guys, let's just take a group picture, come on. All of that was happening, and then there was a group of ladies sitting on the side who had no idea who I was. Okay, so they just like, and I heard them, they were within earshot, and I heard one of them say, who is she? And then the other one was like, maybe some sports person, because I was wearing tracks and like sneakers.
You look like an athlete, so.
and I wasn't glammed up in any way. So they must have been like, who else could it be? If she's not an actor, because she's not like looking like an actor, so she must be an athlete.
Okay, so we were in Rajasthan. And
in Rajasthan.
Jaipur.
Yeah,
we were in
right.
Jaipur.
Because like I've been teasing Jabby about this the whole time because he says it like Rajasthan's a whole state, Jabby. We were in Jaipur.
Yeah. And we were at the Leela Palace. I was a little bit drunk already. And so we're downstairs and this guy looks at me. And I go, hey, what's up? And he got happy that I looked at him. And he comes over. He looks like a Salman Khan Jr.
Called him Choti Salman.
Choti Salman Khan. He's a very nice guy.
Chota Salman, yeah.
Yeah, Chota Salman.
Oh, sorry, Chota Salman Khan. Sorry, I apologize if he's watching. But anyway, so he takes a click with me, and he's very, very happy. I go, cool, well, nice to meet you, man. And then what happens is this other guy like taps me on the shoulder. He's like, can I get a photo with you? And I'm like, you have no idea who I am. Yeah. You have no idea who I am. He goes, but you're famous, right? I go, but you don't know what I do. Like, you have no clue who this guy is. Why do you want a picture with me? He's like, because you're famous. He starts asking me what I do. So I call over Junior Salman Khan. I'm like, tell this guy what I do. And he's like, cool. And he just like goes and rattles off of my YouTube channel and all this stuff. I'm like, this is so funny. Then after that, it was a Punjabi guy, Junior Salman Khan. I started taking photos of his whole family for him with his camera.
Uncle, auntie, cousins, sisters, brothers, everyone. And then at the end, we took a whole group picture with his family. And then they were like, oh, when you come to Delhi, come stay with us. We were like, okay. We made some new friends.
On that. Yeah.
Whenever I get asked about my favorite films from India, PK is a movie that comes up a lot because I love that movie. Yeah. It's one of my favorite Indian films. People kind of get on my case a little bit because they say it's anti-Hindu. Is that what they say? Anti-something. It's anti-something, and it bothers people. And so it makes me wonder, like, do you ever have to deal with like negativity beyond the scope of the story for anything you've worked on, for like political reasons or anything like that?
Yeah, all the time.
How do you handle that? How do you deal with it?
When FOMO Shots Please came out, they were like, you know, we got trolled. The first season we got trolled because they were like, oh, you know, in the name of feminism, you're showing sex and you're showing women drinking and smoking and partying and, you know, all of that. This is ridiculous. You're spoiling our culture. And, you know, there was all that around the show.
But women are doing that anyway.
And we're not saying that this is like every woman should do it. We're just saying that this woman chooses to. And again, in the show, not everyone does it. Like, you know, what we are promoting is agency, right? Agency of choice. And that's all. So, and that's what we are promoting. And if that rattles your feathers, then you need to look at yourself, right? Like, buddy, you know, but on the internet, you can't have a conversation like that. You can't have a nuanced conversation because then they'll be like, you know, then and it'll go into this whole space. And you don't want that. I used to earlier respond to trolls, you know, and but then I realized that it's not doing anything because it's not like I'm able to change someone's mind.
Right.
It gives me that 2 seconds of satisfaction that, oh, I vented, but then again they respond with something equally or more ridiculous, and then you're like, oh, I can't possibly be talking about the basics and definition of feminism. I mean, they think like feminists are like men haters, right?
Yeah.
I can put it on my head like the dictionary definition of feminism, and you'll still not get it. So that with Shubhmangal Zyada Savdhan, which was about a gay couple. I don't know if you've seen the film, which was about like these 2 guys and Ayushmann, Khurrana, and Jitu.
Oh, yes. I saw the trailer for that. Yeah.
So for that, we got trolled, you know. I mean, the LGBTQI community was amazing. Like, they were just like, oh my God, we got a lot of love from them. But a lot of the other people were very like, you know, rattled by it. And they were like, you're spoiling our culture and why would you do this? And what are you trying to show? And you know, there was a lot of that, and but that was something we expected.
Yeah.
I mean, we were like, we knew what we were kind of getting into. So yeah, so you get.
With that movie in particular, I was actually shocked that it was coming out, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
No pun intended. Haha.
Oh,
nice.
But no, because it was pitched as a mainstream movie.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing for me, and it's great that we can talk about this, is that I've been seeing like a collection of these kind of coming out one after the other because years ago, Manoj Bajpayee did one.
Aligarh.
Yes.
Aligarh. And that was with Rajkumar Rao.
Yeah.
And then Rajkumar Rao actually.
Badhaido.
Was that giving anything away? I hope I didn't give anything away. I think that's part of the premise of the.
No, they show it in the trailer. They show it in the trailer too.
And then the one you talked about, and so. There was a film we watched earlier that I don't want to say what it is because it's it's a plot twist, so I'm not going to give it away. But I've been seeing this come up in India, and I'm just wondering like, why now? Like, what's happening where we're seeing this surge of these stories, and it's kind of everywhere at the same time. I don't mean this in a negative way. I'm just genuinely curious.
2018 is when Article 377 got repealed, which was basically criminalizing homosexuality, and now it's not criminal anymore.
Okay.
And I think the next step after that was to legalize marriage. So and right now, as we speak, there's a petition that's going on there's been a Supreme Court hearing, which I've been following like on Twitter. Like there's this live law account which I follow, and like I remember on yesterday I got, because the CGI, the Chief Justice of India, it seemed like it's gonna go in the favor of the community, you know, like because he was being very positive, and I was like, oh my God. And I called up Hitesh, who's the director of Shubhmangal Zyada Savdhan, and I'm like, listen, you know, like I think it's gonna happen. He's like, I don't think it will happen, but yeah, it's looking positive. And he's like, you know, but the good thing is that even if this doesn't happen, then there'll be another petition, and it'll happen soon. Like everybody's feeling that collectively. I think that even if not this like Monday, they're supposed to give their closing arguments, and then we'll know.
Oh wow, this is like right now, now.
Yeah, like day after tomorrow, whatever, like beyond the weekend. But I don't know, because now they're saying that they're asking the state governments to get involved, because they're saying it's not entirely. Like it's also a civil thing, like it's also a personal law thing. So, and every state has a different personal law. So let's involve them and include them. So I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Like in layman terms.
Very strange time that we live in, huh? Because also I've been hearing so much about the attempt to censor movies on OTT.
Yeah, OTT.
Yeah, like because there's more. they're able to express themselves more freely. Like Anurag Kashyap, for instance, can make a movie without reservation on Amazon Prime or Netflix and not have to sweat it. Yeah. Whereas for theatrical distribution, like the censor board comes in and kind of just covers up his whole film.
The guidelines have changed on OTT. They've come up with a whole bunch of guidelines. They're still not as strict as it is on like for a theatrical release. They're still more lenient. Yeah. But I think we'll get there in due course of time.
And it's a nuanced conversation, isn't it? Because it's like, well, what's acceptable and what isn't acceptable, and that's always changing.
And where do you draw the line, right? Like, again, for example, somebody might think that a film on homosexuality is not acceptable, and they might say that no, this is, or like we had a for in Shubh Mangal Zyada Savdhan, there was a kissing scene between Ayushmann and Jeetu's characters. Now that someone might be like, no, you can't show, this is not okay. You know, and then how do you argue with that? But it's the same as a heterosexual couple kissing. But they're like, no, but this is not. You know, I mean, you know, then it goes into a different conversation. And how do you define those?
Okay, so you're around a lot of people a lot. Do you find that guys give good hugs?
Huh?
Well, fine, guys.
Give hugs.
Random question.
I'm going somewhere with
this.
It's nowhere dirty.
Yeah, but still, I'm just wondering where you're.
Nowhere bad.
I think it's not gender specific. I think like some people give good hugs. Some people just like one of those.
That's what I call an LA hug.
That's an LA hug.
That's a very LA hug.
What, like a?
Yeah, where you kind of.
It's kind of like. It's not a full embrace.
It's not a commitment.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had a meeting at a movie studio, and we're just
Oh my God.
So I can't say which movie studio because then it's too specific and that person will see this video and I don't want that person to find out. So what happens is they were giving us something. And so I hugged one of the people who was a woman. She gave a great hug. I think women give great hugs. And then I because I hugged her, her colleague was right there. And so I'm going to give him a hug too. And I go to give him a hug and it was like, there was ice. It was something weird. It was
awkward.
It was like two trees coming to life and touching. You know what I mean? It was so awkward. And I'm like, oh, fuck.
How can we undo this?
Yeah, because I walked away and I'm like, when you have a meeting, like a business meeting, you're hoping that you do everything right.
Yeah,
you know? Yeah. I'm like, great. I just undid all of that work.
Yeah, you had a great meeting and then you do this.
Yeah.
I've met some guys who give like really lovely hugs. Like, you know, they'll just come and just like, you know, grab you like that. And it's like feels comforting and feels warm.
Yeah.
And then there's some who are like, you know,
and what do you do?
Awkwardness.
What do you do when that happens? Because I feel like
no,
women...
so either I acknowledge it and I'm like, you know, just what just happened?
You say that?
Yeah. Like sometimes when you're going for a high five and the other person is coming up with a fist bump, so you know that happens. You're just like, you know, so you're just like you acknowledge it, you call it out.
That happens to me way too much in life.
Yeah, it's too often. Yeah, and then there are times when you don't have that connection with the other person, so you're just like.
I just imagine that awkwardness of like trying to hug and you're like, No, because like I've had an awkward laugh before where I didn't mean to, and it just kind of came out where we were at a restaurant and hopefully I remember this correctly. I was trying to get a plastic bag because there was a lot of food. Oh. And this lady goes, "Oh, we don't have any more."
No. Because she went like this. She goes, we were buying these pizzas and then also like a big ciabatta. And then he's like, "Do you have a bag for this?" And she just goes, "Oh, no, we don't. Have a nice day."
Oh, that's what it was. That's what it was. And I just go, I just start laughing so loud.
Oh my
like
God.
The whole restaurant. And it's not packed. Yeah, okay. It's like her.
She knows it. Yeah.
Nobody else in the restaurant. And so there's like no other reason I'd be laughing.
Yeah. So he just immediately started laughing. He like just how he did now, where he's like just roaring with laughter. This poor girl is like, what just happened? Exactly. And he had to explain to her. He was like, "No, it was just so weird how you just denied me a bag." And then we're like, "Have a nice day." Yeah. I think she was like, "Oh my God, this guy is so weird."
So I asked Manoj a question about, because, you know, everyone has advice, right? And the thing is, oftentimes when people approach someone like Manoj Bajpayee, they ask, you know, what's your advice for if someone young, if they want to become an actor? And I'm like, I'm tired of that question. I'm like, what is your advice for someone beyond their prime and is like considering acting or something like that, like a house mom, who's in her 40s or something, and is like, I want to do that acting thing or whatever, or I have a dream, like what do you think of those people? Like, because for me, this is a weird deviation, but like, you have all these young kids on Instagram who do crazy tricks in like gymnastics and martial arts. And I go, that's not impressive. I'm impressed when I see the 62-year-old still doing a backflip. Yeah. So what's your advice for someone older?
First, I think because of Instagram and general internet, like there's more accessibility, right? So you can just like shoot it yourself and put it out. And earlier we didn't have that. There was only one way to go. Like you'd had to go in for an audition, and you might still have to, but at least you have like a foot in the door now.
It's democratized.
Yeah. And if you have a certain following, then you also have that currency with you, and you to show, and you be like, hey, I've got these many people who already know me and follow me and stuff.
That's actually really simple, but very smart advice. The fact is, everyone
we all have phone cameras, right? Yeah. Like it's really that simple now. Just like shoot. Actually, I learned this during the lockdown. There were a lot of these shoots that were happening remotely, and we had to do everything.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, damn it, I don't want to, because I'm so used to just showing up on set and everything is done for me.
Yeah.
Suddenly, I was my own hair and makeup person, my own stylist, my own art director, my own everything. And I was like, but this is what influencers do.
Yeah,
right?
welcome to the YouTube life. Exactly.
You're like one man or one woman army. Like you just do everything yourself, and then you edit and stuff.
Yeah.
Suddenly my respect I also like hung out with, like I remember I'd met Bhuvan Bam. I'd gone with him. We'd gone to Seoul for an award show. And that guy was just like, he was on the laptop the entire time. And like, I remember it started snowing and I went to I'm calling him. He wasn't answering. I went to his room. I'm banging on the door saying, Bhuvan, open the door. And he opened the door and it was all blacked out. Like he had curtains drawn and stuff. I'm like, you idiot. Like, and I undrew the curtains. And I'm like, look at this. And he took his phone and his selfie stick and he went out and he's like shooting content even then. Then at the airport, we had like a 4 or 5 hour layover at Singapore, and he was like constantly editing, and he'd already he won an award, and within 5 minutes of it, like the clips of it was already up, and I was like, dude, that's insane. I mean, and I didn't realize, right, like up until that point, the kind of work and commitment that goes into this, and I don't think I have it in me to do that, because I mean, post the pandemic, I still kind of now I realize the importance of it. So I kind of push myself a little bit, but it still doesn't come naturally to me. Like I still have to kind of tell myself that, okay, Manvi, no, just do it. Like just, take one picture, put it on like a self-timer or whatever, do it, like invest in a better ring light or whatever.
Yeah. I don't think it comes naturally to anybody. I think it's sort of, you just force yourself. And then gradually with practice, like anything else, you get better at it. Yeah, there's a lot of pressure that goes with doing the YouTube thing. It's just like, but you get used to it, and it's this constant state of putting out content.
That's my worry. Like I feel firstly there's the worry of burning out. Like
it's real.
Yeah, and you just what do you do then? Like how one is that, and secondly, is it? Then are you really living these experiences, or are you constantly like vlogging? And I remember when I went, I'd gone to Milan recently, and I thought, like when I was going, I thought I'd like make lots of videos and take lots of pictures and stuff. Like I remember when I'd gone for the Last Supper, like the Last Supper tour. And I was like making a video and stuff, and then I'm like, wait, I haven't seen what the Last Supper looks like without seeing it through a screen. And then I put it down and I said, no, I'm gonna enjoy this. I'm gonna take it in. I'll take pictures also. Maybe sit with them later and then compile them or not, whatever. Maybe it's just for my Instagram. It's not even like. Even Instagram is curated content, but not like a vlog or on YouTube or anything. But I was like, okay, it's fine. I'll do it. Like until push comes to shove, I'll live this life. If I absolutely have to, then maybe.
Well, I appreciate your advice for the 40-year-old woman.
Yeah.
The auntie.
We started from there. Just take the camera, shoot something, and put it out there.
No, but I do like that advice because, we have access to devices now that allow us to... The only thing stopping you from content is you now.
That's true.
You know, and so we're in a different world where you can do so much more. I mean, one of the cameras we're shooting with is a phone.
Yeah.
So it's like there's literally no excuse anymore. If you have a passion for something and you're deeply entrenched in whatever it is that your parents or society has told you that you have to do, because like I know that a lot of Indians, they sort of get stuck on that road that their parents have made for them.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's what Three Idiots talks about, right? If you have a passion for something, it's not like you can just go pursue it for a lot of people. Like you're lucky because I guess your parents were supportive enough or you just, okay, they were supportive.
They were super supportive.
You're like, fuck you, mom. I'm an actress. No, so they were supportive enough. Not everybody has that.
Yeah.
You know, and for obvious reasons, you know, they're encouraged to be a doctor or an engineer or something or another. And so the fact is you can do that and still do your thing because of the phone. I mean,
exactly. Like there's so many people with regular jobs, right? Like who are doctors or who are bankers, and they have, like, they put out so much content and it's so great. Like I'd gone for this one creators retreat recently and I met a neurosurgeon over there and he's a creator. Like, but obviously his content is
hopefully
about...
not while he's neurosurgeoning.
Like, so that's a brain. Yeah, but like he puts out content around that, around neurology and mental health and, you know, like joining the two. And I'm like, yeah, that's great. Like, right? Like we need all kinds of content. We need everything. Let people choose, and why not? Like, if you have knowledge to share, then why not? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So this has been fun.
Yeah.
Hopefully it was for you guys as well.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't.
It was fun for me too. So thanks so much for hanging out. Make sure to follow MAANVI GAGROO on the social medias. Thanks again to Novotel Mumbai International Airport for allowing us.
Airport. No, I thought you said hairport. It's an air.
Thank you, Mumbai. It's saying thank you, Mumbai. Thank you, Novotel Mumbai International Airport. I got nervous as I said it the first time. That's why I messed it up. But thank you for calling it out. I appreciate that. I could have just cut out an editing, but it's all good.
Hairport.
Now it's there forever. Hairport. So Novotel Mumbai International Airport. Thank you. And yes, follow MAANVI and say hello to her. Tell her Jabby sent you. That's it for now. I'm Jabby Kuwait. This is Chart Kirk.
Hi.
And that's...
Who's that?
There you go.
It's MAANVI GAGROO. GAGROO.
Peace out.
Yay. Cut.